Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for the fourth quarter and fiscal year 2022 earnings conference call for XPeng Inc. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's remarks, there will be a question-and-answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the conference over to your host, Mr. Alex Xia, Head of Investor Relations of the company. Please go ahead, Alex.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to XPeng's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2022 earnings conference call. Our financial and operating results were issued by our newswire services earlier today and available online. You can also view the earnings press release by visiting the IR section of our website at ir.xiaopeng.com. Participants on today's call from our management will include Co-founder, Chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng, Vice Chairman and President, Dr. Brian Gu, Vice President of Finance, Mr. Dennis Lu, Vice President of Corporate Finance and Investments, Mr. Charles Zhang, and myself. Management will begin with the prepared remarks, and the call will conclude with a Q&A session. A webcast replay of this conference call will be available on the IR section of our website. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the relevant public filings of the company as filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that XPeng's earnings press release and this conference call include the disclosure of unaudited GAAP financial measures as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. XPeng's earnings press release contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to the unaudited GAAP measures. I will now turn the call over to our Co-founder, Chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng. Please go ahead.
大家好 ，2022年小鹏汽车的交付量突破了12万台，在中国新能源汽车上险量排名第10，同比增长23%。回顾整个2022年，宏观经济和新能源汽车的行业竞争带来了非常多的挑战，我们的业绩也承受了压力。但是换个角度，幸运的是，这些压力也帮助我们比行业的大部分公司更早的看到行业的挑战的过程中间，在我们公司里面所看到的问题。我觉得我很高兴的是，我们在去年年底快速的行动起来，更早的开始去分析、挖掘，并且在今年开始解决这些问题。从去年年底，我们果断的进行了战略上的复盘和调整，大刀阔斧的推进了整个组织架构的优化，并且核心来补强综合能力的短板。我们选择自我颠覆，在更高的维度跟平台上进行真正的二次创业。我认为小鹏汽车即将迎来转折点，因为我们看到了我们的目标是什么，我们的优点和我们的缺点分别是什么。我们不仅有信心恢复销量跟市场份额的增长，而且我们现在更加注重基础，包含了组织能力、产规能力、营销能力和成本能力的全面提升。这会为小鹏决胜长远，我相信会打好基础，让小鹏汽车真正可以成为中国乃至全球智能汽车的 No.1 企业。
Hello, everyone. In 2022, XPeng delivered more than 120,000 electric vehicles, a year-over-year increase of 23%, and ranking number 10 among emerging EV makers in China, as measured by vehicle insurance registration volume. Throughout the year, a challenging macro environment and increasingly intense competition in the NEV market placed pressure on our performance. Amidst this pressure, we saw an opportunity to become a first mover in tackling the challenges faced by industry and examine inhibitors to our business growth at the same time. At the end of last year, I rapidly and decisively conducted a review of our strategies and implemented a series of significant adjustments to our organizational structure with a focus on improving areas of weakness. we have decided to start the change with ourselves and revamp XPeng's business with a startup mindset on an elevated platform with new angles. I believe XPeng is approaching an inflection point as we have clearly identified what our goals are and what our strengths and weaknesses are. We're now building recovery momentum in our sales and market share expansion. As we do this, we're placing a high premium on improving our organization and cost efficiency to fortify our strong foundation and better position our company for sustainable growth over the long term. Our overarching goal is to make XPeng a leader in the Chinese EV market and ultimately win the global EV race.
那我兴奋的是，我们的战略性调整才刚刚开始不久，但是已经在一季度前3个月体现出明显的效果。那我在接下来几个季度的继续稳固放大，取得更大的突破，充满了信心。首先，我们对管理团队进行了从顶层开始的调整和升级。王凤英在汽车行业具有30多年经验的新总裁加入了我们。凤英将会全面负责小鹏的产品规划、销售、品牌市场，以及负责整个的大产品矩阵体系。凤英拥有深厚的行业经验跟市场洞察力，以及特别优秀的极强的执行力，这会帮助小鹏的产品更精准地抓住客户需求，并且大幅度提高我们在品牌市场销售服务的能力跟效率。同时，我们也调整了管理架构，使之更加扁平跟聚拢。从今年的2月份开始，小鹏所有的设计团队、研发团队、生产团队、供应链团队和组织管理团队、流程制度团队都直接向我汇报。我相信未来的数个月，整体的我们的规划能力、决策效率、执行效率会有明显的提高。这些调整有效地激活了我们执行力跟战斗力。我相信在之后的相当长时间，我个人会持续关注如何通过管理实现同样的人数下实现数倍的能效跟客户价值，以及如何通过科技创新和管理创新大幅度降低全链条的成本。
What excites me is that our strategic adjustment has induced meaningful results in the first quarter of this year, which gives me confidence that we will achieve sustainable and greater breakthroughs in the next few quarters. My first step to the organizational restructure started with changes and upgrades in our top leadership. Ms. Fengying Wang has joined our team as president of the company, bringing us more than 30 years of experience in the automotive industry. Fengying is taking full responsibility for our product planning and sales operations, and is also in charge of our product platform management scheme. Her extensive industry experience, in-depth market insight, and strong execution capabilities will help our product capture customer demand more accurately, while greatly improving efficiency in our sales and services divisions. At the same time, the adaptations to our management organization are geared toward a flatter and more concentrated structure. Since February, all design, R&D, production, supply chain, and organizational management functions directly report to me. I believe that these shifts will significantly improve our planning capabilities and lift the efficiency of our decision-making and execution in the coming months. More importantly, these adjustments have effectively refreshed our execution and competitiveness. For the foreseeable future, I will remain focused on lifting the labor efficiency across our organization by multiple times so as to generate increased customer value with the same headcount, and greatly reduce costs across a full range of processes through technology and management innovation.
在产品规划和产品设计上面，我们会更多的开始围绕客户可感知到的价值和差异化进行创新。我们会在后续的车型，包括新车型和改款车型里面调整我们的配置组合，将整车的模块化设计和智能的一致性设计上进行统一。在内外造型的设计上面，因为小鹏的用户都共同对美有极高的追求，当前我已经直接管理 造型团队，并且开始同时打造3个造型前端团队进行创意的竞争。我相信我们会在内外造型空间设计方面持续明显提升。同时，我们将 NPS 用户净推荐值定为公司多个业务部门的考核核心目标之一，每月负责收集反馈。NPS 考核会驱动我们在产品规划、设计研发、客户服务一项以客户为中心为转型。我相信大家会从我们后续上市的新产品、新 OTA、新服务上看到长足的进步。
With regard to our product planning and design, we concentrate on customer perceived value and product differentiation in our innovation. We'll make substantial changes to future product model configuration mix, whole vehicle modularized design, and consistency in smart features. In terms of interior and exterior styling and design, to meet XPeng customers' high standards for aesthetics, I am directly running the styling design division and building 3 teams that compete with each other to generate creative ideas. These initiatives will continuously improve our interior and exterior styling and space design capabilities. At the same time, I incorporated the Net Promoter Score, or NPS, into the core performance indicators for a variety of business functions and required feedback collection on a monthly basis. The NPS performance evaluation will anchor the transformation of our product planning, design, and development toward a customer-centric pathway. I believe our new products, our OTAs, and new services to come will demonstrate substantial progress.
在品牌营销方面，我们将围绕全自动驾驶这个核心差异点打透，提升用户的认知，拓展我们的市场边界，并且将我们当前的主力从1、2线市场开始向3、4线市场进行深度推进。当前我们已经完成了品牌跟市场团队的初步整合，并重新确定了整体的策略，这会帮助我们在之后的数个月时间可以看到我们会有效的提高营销的质量、效果和灵活性，并大幅度下降营销成本。我们已经完成了销售网络的扁平化管理的组织调整，并且正在加强网络布局跟提高一线销售人员的培训和实际的战斗力，这会打造小鹏汽车具有决胜能力的这一个销售规模的跨越，会打下非常好的基础。
In terms of branding and marketing, we'll harness our core differentiation in autonomous driving to the full extent and enhance customer perception. We are broadening our addressable market, expanding our penetration from Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities to Tier 3, Tier 4 cities. So far, we have completed a preliminary merge between our branding and marketing teams and refreshed our overall strategy. This will help us improve the quality, effectiveness, and flexibility of marketing activities in an effective way going forward, while significantly reducing marketing expenses. We have already flattened out the management hierarchy in our sales network. Furthermore, we are enhancing our network coverage, increasing competitive capabilities in our frontline sales staff, and developing XPeng's powerful data-driven sales touchpoints in order to achieve significant strides in sales growth.
3月10日，我们的主力车型 P7 的升级款 P7i 正式上市，并且在当月就启动交付。我很高兴地跟大家分享，在 P7i 发布后，我们的进店量和试驾量都达到了最近好几个月以来的最高水平。我们的客户欣赏 P7i 在智能、颜值、驾控等多个方面相对精密，非常清晰一目了然的优势。在大家都知道，在当前整体市场新订单非常疲软的情况下，我们最近表现了明显逆势向上的表现。我们的2月份的新的订单相比今年的1月份有了100%的提高，并且伴随着 P7i 上市后的订单表现强劲，我们3月份的新订单量又环比2月份有大幅度的增长，这是我们在全面变革后打的第一个胜仗，也让我们内部的士气相当的振奋。
On March the 10th, we officially launched the new P7i sports sedan, which is an upgraded version of our highly successful P7 model. Deliveries to customers also commenced in this month. I'm pleased to see our in-store traffic and test driving volume both hit new heights in recent months following the P7i's launch. This new product's smart features, styling design, and performance, among other clear advantages in rivalry with similar products, were well received among customers. Amid the market's prevailing weakness in new order intake, our results outperformed the market. Our new order intake in February increased 100% over the previous month. With the strong momentum of P7i orders following its official launch, we expect to see a considerable month-on-month growth of total new order intake in March. This marks an initial success following our comprehensive transformation, which has also boosted our company morale.
我们今年第二款重磅的新车型 G6 将会在上海车展亮相，并且在今年的二季度末正式发布跟启动交付。G6 不光具备20到30万价格区间新能源 SUV 中最先进的电动化以及智能化技术水平，并且在空间、续航、造型跟内饰等多个方面相比我们的竞品优势是非常突出的。我们相信 G6 会成为这一个市场销量排名前列的爆款，在量产爬坡后会取得相比 P7 2到3倍的月销售目标。我们还将在今年的下半年推出一款全新的纯电7座 MPV， 这款车将满足追求更大空间、追求人机智能共驾的家庭客户的需求。
Our second new product model coming up this year, the G6, will make its debut at the Shanghai Auto Show. Its official launch and vehicle deliveries will occur around the end of the second quarter. The G6 will bring the most advanced electrification and smart mobility technologies to the 200,000 to 300,000 yuan price NEV SUV market. With unrivaled interior space, range, styling, and interior decoration, we believe the G6 will become the top-selling model in its market segment. Following the ramp-up of G6 mass production, we expect G6 monthly sales target to be 2 to 3 times that of its P7 predecessor's sales. In addition, in the second half of 2023, we'll launch a brand new BEV 7-seat MPV. This new MPV model is designed to cater to customer cohorts that demand a larger interior room while serving the needs of our family customers for a human-machine co-pilot.
最近一段时间，以 ChatGPT 4.0 为代表的人工智能应用，让数以亿计的用户看到了生成式 AI 模型的巨大潜力。对此我感到非常的兴奋，这标志在未来类似机器大脑的通识能力会进入到一个全新的阶段，并且它们可以本地化部署，让自动驾驶的实现方式在将来都会有新的诠释以及效率上的提升，并且让自动驾驶更快的能够从 L4 将来走向 L5。我们期待着 GPT 的相关技术和小鹏汽车的业务的各个环节进行更多的耦合，为我们的用户体验跟企业运营效率带来颠覆性的突破。
Recently, ChatGPT 4.0 and other AI-based applications have created a buzz among hundreds of millions of users on the massive potential of generative AI models. I am also very excited about this. It represents a brand new phase of artificial general intelligence, with on-premise deployment that does not rely on cloud end, which not only redefines the pathway to realize autonomous driving, but also increases its efficiency. Given this development, there is an even higher possibility that autonomous technology further advances from L4 to L5. We expect to incorporate GPT technology deeply into XPeng's business across the board to create groundbreaking user experiences and exceptional improvements to our operational efficiency.
从3月下旬开始，我们的 XNGP 将会在广州、深圳、上海这3个城市多车型加速落地。通过城市 NGP 的 OTA， 我们在中国率先量产了基于 Transformer 的 BEV 时序网络 XNet， 这在深度学习算法的开发应用中取得了里程碑式的进展。在今年下半年，基于 XNet 深度学习的算法 XNGP 将不再依赖高精地图，这可以实现对于全国范围内数十个城市的道路的覆盖。从我们当前的测试效果来看，新版本的 XNGP 明显超过了我们友商在美国的类似技术的实际使用效果。我相信小鹏汽车的自动驾驶技术跟用户体验也将会迎来拐点。
In late March, we began accelerating the OTA rollout of CityNGP, compatible with multiple models in several cities including Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Shanghai. Through CityNGP's OTA, we took the lead in mass-producing the transformer-based BEV time series network, or XNet, in China, which achieved a milestone in deep learning algorithm development and application. In the second half of this year, XNGP, powered by XNet's deep learning algorithms, will no longer depend on a high-definition map. That said, XNGP will be supporting drivers on more urban roads across over 10 cities in China. Results from our testing showed the new version of XNGP outperformed peers' actual on-road performance in the United States. This leads us to believe XPeng's autonomous technology and its customer adoption is approaching a pivotal turning point.
我们不仅在智能化的技术和用户心智上大幅度领先于同行，我们即将推动技术路线跟商业化因跨过拐点而进入爆发期。在保障高度安全的基础上，我们会在覆盖场景、客户体验以及软硬件成本这3个自动驾驶的核心方向上快速前进。从自动驾驶覆盖的场景看，我们已经从高速场景进入到用户高频刚需的城市场景，并且即将进一步打通全场景，也就是说包含小区道路跟非公共道路的点对点的场景，并且我们在今年3季度会从当前的3个城市推广到全国的多个城市。在客户体验上，我们在去年的测试中间第一次实现了让客户使用自动驾驶开起来放心的这一个重要的心理关卡，也就是开起来可以感觉很安全放心，轻松的让机器帮助我们来驾驶，而自己仅仅进行监管。通过数次在去年底到现在的 OTA， 我们认为我们将来每1年的 XNGP OTA 可以提高机器驾驶年龄1年，也就是说在未来的2到3年里面，我们会实现有3年驾龄左右的有经验司机的开车体验，实现在城市内的100公里接管次数下降到1次或者更低。另外在成本上，我们计划明年让 XNGP 的 BOM 成本，包括软件跟硬件的 BOM 成本实现大幅度的下降，并从当前的软硬件整体捆绑销售转为软硬件分离销售，让最高等级的全自动驾驶成为小鹏的全系标配，以及让更多的用户有能力使用到最新的全自动驾驶能力。我相信小鹏汽车在这以上3个方向的全面突破，将会为我们的用户创造巨大的价值，并构建我们的技术壁垒，为我们带来长期可持续的大规模增长和毛利带来贡献。
We have built notable leadership in smart technologies as well as customer adoption of smart technologies compared with peers. We're driving our technology roadmap and commercialization pathway to cross over the inflection point and reach an accelerated growth curve. While keeping high safety standards remains a top priority of our technology advancements, we'll also be focused on rapid development to improve scenario coverage, user experience, and software and hardware cost optimization. In terms of scenario coverage, we have expanded the usage of the advanced technology from highway scenarios into city scenarios, where ADAS are used at high frequency and even become an essential driving tool. Going forward, we'll strive to further broaden ADAS usage to more end-to-end driving scenarios, such as internal compound ways and non-public roads, and expand our geographical coverage from 3 cities to more major cities nationwide, beginning in the third quarter. In terms of user experience, we have achieved an important psychological barrier. For customers to use autonomous driving to relieve drivers. That is, drivers can let the machine safely take the wheel, resting assured that they are acting only as a supervisor. Looking ahead, we expect that through continuous OTA upgrades, XNGP's driving skills will escalate every year, and in 2 to 3 years reach a level that is equivalent to a human driver with 3 years of driving experience. We also expect that the number of manual takeovers per 100 kilometers will be reduced to 1 or fewer. Regarding cost efficiency, we plan to cut XNGP's BOM cost significantly next year and adjust our sales model from one that bundles sales of software and hardware to one that splits the sales of software and hardware, which is going to enable autonomous driving on all of our new vehicles and allow more customers to use the latest autonomous driving capabilities. In pursuit of breakthroughs in the aforementioned 3 realms, will bring great value to our customers and build our competitive edge in technologies, delivering long-term sustainable revenue growth at scale and with improved margin contribution.
如果说过去5年是新能源的黄金5年的话，我相信未来的5年将是全自动驾驶的黄金5年。那么小鹏在当前大幅度领先的自动驾驶技术，将小鹏在全自动驾驶的新5年中间获得优势。同时我们在最近的总结跟变化中间会快速的弥补我们的短板，这都让小鹏在新的5年里面加速获得第一的市场份额，大大加强这个可行性。
It has been said that the past 5-year period was the golden age for new energy vehicles. I believe the next 5-year period will be the golden age for autonomous driving. During the 5 years to come, XPeng's highly advanced autonomous driving technology and our efforts in optimizing our organization and making up for our weaknesses will help XPeng accelerate our ability to gain top market share.
面对当前激烈的行业竞争跟内卷，我认为除了要继续实现领先的包括自动驾驶、美学设计以及大幅度提高产规、营销效率、组织能力外，我认为一个非常重要的点是，一家企业要有超强的成本控制能力，所以这也会是小鹏汽车接下来认为要赢得竞争的核心能力。我们将通过平台模块化和大量的技术创新来这2个方向来推进我们的降本战略。从今年开始，小鹏的纯电的平台、电子电器架构、动力的系统、智能辅助驾驶的软硬件将都会进入到平台化，进入到真正的体系化造车的阶段。这样可以让我们用更快的速度、更低的成本，为用户提供体验更好以及质量更好的产品，同时会有效的让我们的供应商合作伙伴更容易获得双赢。在过去的时间里面，小鹏的技术研发能力主要将研发的方向体现在性能和功能优先，在今后一段时间，我们的研发能力将会更多的体现在保持功能跟性能的同时，但是要大幅度降低成本，并且使它成为标配。我们已经制定了很明确的执行的路线图，通过技术创新、配置优化等多种手段，从今年到明年实现自动驾驶的BOM成本超过 50% 的成本下降，使整车的动力和硬件的系统成本达到约 25% 的成本下降。我很高兴的是，在当前我们的设计、研发、供应链和制造团队正在一起协同起来，我们非常有信心通过创新在未来一段时间实现成本的非常好的控制，这也等于是巨大的提高了我们的产品力。
In the face of fierce competition, in addition to our leadership in autonomous driving and aesthetic design, while greatly improving our product planning abilities, marketing efficiency, and organizational capabilities, I believe more powerful cost control will be the core competitive edge that will enable XPeng to secure its leadership in the EV market. We'll advance the platform-based approach and technology innovation to propel our cost reduction strategy. Entering 2023, we're applying a full platform engineering approach for our BEV vehicle platform, electrical and electronic architecture, powertrain system, and ADAS software and hardware development. This signals that we are entering a new phase of car making in a unified system. In this way, we're able to develop products with superior product quality and customer experience at a faster pace and at a lower cost. In the past, our R&D strengths were primarily manifested by our leading product performance. In the future, our R&D strengths will be underlined by maintaining the leading performance while achieving remarkable cost reductions. We have mapped out our strategic execution roadmap with associated cost reduction, including an over 50% decrease for autonomous driving costs and about 25% decrease for vehicle hardware costs, including powertrain, over the 2023 to 2024 period by means such as technology innovation and optimized configurations. I'm pleased to see that the design technology, R&D, supply chain, and manufacturing teams are now working in a synergistic way to make our efforts and products more competitive through innovation.
从现金流的角度看，我们去年的年底在手现金超过了381亿元人民币。在过去的几年，包含在今年2023年，我们会完成对2大生产基地的投资。我们同时打造了3个强大的车型平台，这足以支持我们在未来的产能、产量以及车型平台的推出。那么我相信这也会大幅度下降我们的资本开支。同时，我们的研发方向将会进一步聚焦最符合长期趋势的路线，以及让用户可感知，以及做到标配一致性，并且这样能够在规模成本上有巨大的差异。我们会不断地提高全流程的运营效率，例如在当前我们在销售体系通过优化门店布局去提高店效。相信今年现在所看到并且正在实施的优化成本的举措，会在未来的数个月，特别从下半年开始会持续看到明显的体现。
In terms of cash liquidity, our cash on hand at the end of 2022 amounted to over 38 billion RMB. As we have nearly completed our investment in our 2 manufacturing bases over the past few years, including this year, our capex will decline substantially. We have also established 3 powerful vehicle platforms that can support a series of new model launches over the next 3 years. Our R&D will further concentrate on initiatives that best correspond with long-term trends and further differentiate our products in terms of customer experience and cost. We'll also pursue improvement in our operating efficiency throughout the entire process. For example, within our sales operations, we strive to improve same-store efficiency by optimizing our store network. We believe these cost optimization efforts will start to deliver material results beginning in the coming 7 months, including in the second half of this year.
我创业的初心从来都不想做成一家小而美的企业，或者做成一家跟别人一样产品的企业。长期来说，追求科技改变生活，扩大我们的规模跟市场份额，在软件和在硬件上都形成足够的规模优势，这是我们第一位的战略目标。虽然在汽车行业今天来看，产品和管理调整的周期比互联网等其他行业都要困难得多得多，需要的时间周期也更长，但是我还是愿意牺牲短期的销量，以追求在更有耐心中长线能够获得更大胜利的成功去做好准备。
It has always been my intention to build a successful company that can grow in scale instead of a small company in a niche market or just any generic company out there. Expanding our scale and market share to achieve economy of scale in both software and hardware is the primary goal in our long-term strategy. Although the product and management adjustment cycle in the automotive industry is more difficult than other industries and takes a longer period of time, we're still willing to sacrifice short-term sales and more patiently pursue greater victories in the medium and long term.
欣喜的是，随着我们当前在管理上做的大幅度且快速的调整，以及当前我们在产品组合上不断做的升级迭代，还有包括营销体系的能力，我们已经看到了可喜的快速变化跟效果。我有极强的信心，从今年的3季度开始，小鹏汽车的销量将会看到同比和环比的大幅度增长，并且较大比例的高于行业的增速。
Excitingly, as we rapidly implement adjustment and changes to our management, in addition to instituting a host of upgrades and iterations in our product portfolio and marketing capabilities, we have seen encouraging changes and positive results. I'm firmly convinced that beginning in the third quarter of this year, XPeng's monthly sales number will achieve significant growth, both sequentially and year-over-year, as well as be much higher than the industry's average growth rate.
我再次重申，小鹏当前的重点还将围绕在组织、产品、营销、成本等能力的建设跟提高上。只有持续的苦练内功，并且在全自动驾驶时代真正到来的时候，加速推动新产品的全量上市，我相信才会形成下一个阶段持续稳定的高速爆发跟巨大增长。我们会不断的围绕这个目标而奋斗。最后，关于第一季度的交付量，我们预期在2023年第一季度我们的总交付数量约为18000至19000辆，收入预计约为人民币40到42亿元。
I would reiterate that our current focus is on building and improving our capabilities in organization, product design, marketing, and cost control. Continuous efforts in refining management and accelerated new product launches in the era of autonomous driving will lead us to the next level of exponential growth. We'll continue to strive for this goal. Lastly, we expect our total vehicle deliveries to be between 18,000 and 19,000 units in the first quarter of 2023, and revenue to be between 4 billion and 4.2 billion RMB.
谢谢大家，下面由我们的财务 VP Dennis 为我们大家介绍2022年第4季度的财务状况。
Thank you, everyone. I'll now hand over to our finance VP Dennis Lu.
Thank you, Mr. He, and hello, everyone. Now I would like to provide a brief overview of our financial results for the first quarter of 2022. I will reference RMB only in my discussion today, unless otherwise stated. Our total revenues were RMB 5.1 billion for the first quarter of 2022, a decrease of 39.9% year-over-year, and a decrease of 24.7% quarter-over-quarter. Revenues from vehicle sales were RMB 4.7 billion for the first quarter of 2022, a decrease of 43.1% year-over-year, and a decrease of 25.3% from the last quarter. The year-over-year decrease was mainly attributable to lower vehicle deliveries for the G3 and P7, while the quarter-over-quarter decrease was mainly due to lower vehicle deliveries for the P5 and P7, was partially offset by the newly launched G9. Gross margin was 8.7% for the first quarter of 2022, compared with 12% for the same period of 2021 and 13.5% for the last quarter. Vehicle margin was 5.7% for the first quarter of 2022, compared with 10.9% for the same period of 2021 and 11.6% for the last quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter decreases were mainly explained by the increased sales promotion. R&D expenses were 1.2 billion for the fourth quarter of 2022, a decrease of 15.3% year-over-year, and a decrease of 17.9% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter decreases mainly in line with timing and progress on new vehicle programs. SG&A expenses were 1.8 billion for the first quarter of 2022, a decrease of 12.9% year-over-year, and an increase of 8% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year decrease was mainly due to the decrease of the commission paid to the franchise stores associated with lower vehicle deliveries. The quarter-over-quarter increase is mainly attributable to higher marketing, promotional, and advertising expense to support vehicle sales. As a result of the foregoing, loss from operations was RMB 2.5 billion for the first quarter of 2022, compared with RMB 2.4 billion for the same period 2021, and RMB 2.2 billion for the last quarter. Net loss was RMB 2.4 billion for the first quarter, compared with RMB 1.3 billion for the same period a year ago, and RMB 2.4 billion for the last quarter. As of December 31st, 2022, our company had a cash equivalent, restricted cash, short-term deposit, short-term investment, and time deposit in total RMB 38.3 billion. To be mindful for the length of our earnings call, I will encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release for further details of our financial results for the fourth quarter and full year 2022. This concludes our prepared remarks. We will now open the call to questions. Operator, please go ahead.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star, then one on your telephone keypad and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star, then two. If you are on a speakerphone, you will need to pick up the handset to ask your question. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, if you wish to ask your question to management in Chinese, please immediately repeat your question in English. For the sake of clarity of order, please ask one question at a time. Management will respond, and then feel free to follow up with your next question. Our first question will come from Tim Hsiao of Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
管理层你们 好， 非常感谢接受我的提问。那我有2个问题啊， 第一个问题是想请教一下管理层，就是目前对于这个市场竞争格局的一个看法。因为我们现在知道，就是可能人民币20万到35万的这个电动车市场，是目前小鹏汽车的主要聚焦的市场，也是销量的主要增长的一个主要来源啊。但过去一段时间也看到了特斯拉其他新势力的伙伴比亚迪传统车企的新能源车的品牌都瞄准了这一块。那我们怎么看待这一块竞争格局的一个发展尤其像昨天的时候，比亚迪也针对了他们的这个20万的这个汉以及唐也做了价格调整。那另外网传特斯拉可能在2季度也会进一步的降价。那小鹏汽车如何维持优势除了刚才小鹏总提到的全自动驾驶之外接下来的产品我们是否也会相对应的采用比较激进的一些这个定价策略。So my first question is about the competition, because the market with price segment of 200 to 350,000 RMB or 30 to 50,000 US dollar is XPeng's stronghold and the key volume driver. However, if you look at what happened over the past few quarters, I think Tesla, EV startup, BYD, and even traditional car makers, EV brands are getting more aggressive in this pricing segment. And I think yesterday BYD just upgraded its Han EV and Tang DMI to focus on the 200,000 plus market, and Tesla might consider having another round of price cuts. So how do you think about the competitive landscape in this pricing segment, and how could XPeng make sure that its upcoming models, including G6 and the model next year, could stand out in the crowd of competitors? Will we be more pricing aggressive with more meaningful cost down in the following quarters? So that's my first question. Thank you.
谢谢，非常好的问题啊。我觉得最近的1到2年里面，极其激进的价格内卷会不可避免啊。 汽油车会面对巨大的挑战，它来自于新能源汽车跟电动汽车，所以汽油汽车一定会反击。那么我相信动力电池的产能以及动力电池的上游的原材料的价格一个产能会过剩，以及原材料会明显的下行，那么这都对于电动汽车反击混动汽车打下了一定的基础。那么在这两个的情况下，我相信很多的汽车公司会在这个更激进的以市场规模为优先的角度来去做出很多的动作。刚才我也反复提过，我说小鹏的战略在目前我们会把规模能做好，而规模做好，我认为在这个里面，除了小鹏一方面要加强我们的优势，包括了自动驾驶，一方面我们要把设计的这个优势进一步增强之外，几个最重要的点，我觉得是刚才所说的。第一个，成本。实际上在过去的时间，小鹏的技术创新主要是为了功能跟性能。在我们今天，在我们拉齐多个部门，以及当我们将视线看到从原来的25到30万为主的这样一个区间，然后现在往下看到20万、25万、30万这3个区间的时候，我们看到了有非常多的机会能够大幅度降本包括我们内部的这个营销的成本，以及不必要不创造客户价值的研发成本，以及我们对于整个的硬软件的包容成本。所以在未来的时间里面，我相信小鹏一个非常重要的事情是如何在把自动驾驶智能汽车的规模做到了最前列，甚至做到第一。在这个时候，我们也一定会在不断的后面的改款车型和新车型里面，以及在相关定价上面，会去激进的去占领到市场的更高的地位这是我们的这整体的策略。谢谢。
Thank you for your question. It's a very good one. Basically, we expect the market to experience a series of price cuts by different OEMs in the coming couple of years because of the very intensified competition or competitive landscape in the current market, especially for traditional OCE car makers, because we expect to see a lot of oversupply of capacity in the market, as well as some reduction in the raw material pricing, which will lay a good foundation for a different price cut to be expected in the near future. And as a result, different brands and different players in the market will launch a series of price cuts in order to expand their market share. Now, as I mentioned in the prepared remarks, that the current first priority for XPeng is to optimize our organization as well as to expand our scale. And in addition to that, we also will continue to improve our autonomous driving capabilities as well as optimizing our design language. Now, next to it, we also will prioritize the cost optimization. In the past, we mainly focus on the development of the functionalities and the overall performance of our products. Now, when we expand our targeted price range to cover more than 250,000 and 300,000 to actually a little bit lower to 200,000 RMB, we realize there's actually a lot of room for improvement in terms of cost reduction. For example, just to reduce our overall BOM costs in the R&D sector, and also to integrate our software, in aspects of our software and hardware design as well. That is why in the coming future, we will first of all prioritize the scale development as well as improving our autonomous technology and overall product quality and performance, while improving our cost structure in many new areas, especially to be reflected in our newly launched products to be expected. And also we will expect some strategic price reduction in the near future as well, so as to expand our market share and promote deliveries. Thank you.
我们如果把时间追回到2017年，中国大概有接近300家造车新势力，以及有接近70家乘用汽车公司在中国销售的。截止到今年，我们可以看到大概只有50家左右的乘用汽车品牌在中国有销量。我觉得在5年以后可能只有25家，那么在10年以后可能只有数家到10家之间。这意味着什么？意味着今天不管是10万一年还是50万、70万一年的汽车公司，在5到15年之间都存活不了。在中国能够存活的可能最低的数字都是会达到300万一年的这样一个规模。所以 如果小鹏在去年的整个的战略调整里面，必须认为没有一个基础的硬件规模和基础的软件规模，根本没有办法在中国能够活下去，这还不代表能够成为第一，这是活下去的基础。所以这也是我们认为在下面的5年里面甚至10年里面，用科技创新并且严格控制好成本，做到市场上的第一的规模，才有可能真正能够存活。这是包括这个对整个市场、对于定价、对于竞争的一些看法。谢谢。
Looking back in 2017, there were about 300 car-making startups and 70 passenger vehicle makers in the market. By now, there's only 50 players left, and in 5 years' time, maybe there will be less than 25, and in 10 years' time, less than 10. Which means that by that time, the annual deliveries of each single car makers will not be 100,000, 500,000, or 700,000. It needs to be at least 7 million in order to survive. Which means that we need to have a solid foundation in terms of our hardware and software capabilities, as well as our cost control capabilities as well, in order to just survive in the market in the fierce and intensified competition, not letting alone becoming the winner in the competition. And that is why in the coming 5 to 10 years, our priority will be to solidify our leadership in our technological R&D capability as well as our cost control. Thank you.
好的，非常感谢小鹏总这个细节的分享。那我第二个问题的话，想请教一下有关于这个渠道这一块，那是不是可以请管理层也分享一下今年渠道营销的一些策略？因为刚才在简报里面，小鹏总也提到了这个销售网络的一个扁平化。那另外我们也看到了国内除了1、2线城市之外，新能源车在这个低线城市的增长可能这几年会更快。那各家也都在布局渠道营销体系的一个下沉。那是不是可以请这管理层分享一下，就是小鹏汽车在这一方面比较这个细节的一些新的举措。那我们原先直营跟经销的这样的一个混合的一个模式会不会有一些改变，或者是占比上面会不会有一些调整？ So my second question is about the sales network. Could you please help to update us the XPeng's channel strategy this year? While tier 1, 2 cities that will stay as strategically critical, the growth in the lower tier cities in China will soon outpace the higher tier cities and become a key growth driver. So quite a few EV makers are targeting to penetrate into the lower tier cities. So how is XPeng going to grow its presence in the lower tier cities? And in the meantime, will the company change its hybrid business model consisting of the direct sales and the dealership? Will be there any material changes in the upcoming quarters? That's my second question. Thank you.
谢谢。我们新来的总裁王凤英，他对于渠道的研究上远深过我，所以在他入职了大概1个多月的中间，他跟我数次在讨论有关渠道。我相信对于渠道的今年的策略，我想有几个地方是非常清晰的。我想第一个就是说，我们会继续把自营跟授权会坚定的向前推进，并且我相信随着时间过去，授权的比例会相对提高，这是第一。第二点，我们一定会把渠道的管理扁平化，更好的培训以及提供更好的服务，提高整体渠道的这个盈利和它的经营效率，这是我们今年的一个非常重要的点。第三个，我们的渠道肯定会将纯粹主要仅面向销售的渠道变成了更多的拥有4S 功能的渠道的转换那么这几个点都是我们今年现在正在已经去决定并且会往前走的这个渠道策略。但实际上我们还正在去讨论下面一步的新的一些思考，但是我们有这个我们会逐步跟大家分享。但是我们有一点可以说明的是，我们不认为是大量小型的渠道可以是非常好的提高销量的方法，我们更期望能够做出有质量的渠道这样对我们来说会更有价值。谢谢。
Thank you. Our newly recruited senior management member, Ms. Wang Fengying, actually is way more experienced than me in terms of channel distribution. And since 1 month after her enrollment, she already had numerous discussions regarding our distribution channels in our network development. So for this year, we have several strategies in place already. First of all, we will maintain our current model of having directly run and franchise stores in order to promote our sales and distribution. However, the mix from franchise stores will increase. And the second point is that we have and will continue to flatten out our management structure so as to improve the overall service quality as well as to improve the profitability and efficiency of our distribution channels. And the third point is that we will actually expand the functionality of those kind of channels to include not only sales purposes or functionality, but also to increase forest function as well, so as to provide a more comprehensive set of services to our customers. Now, one of our upcoming next steps, which I can review right now, is that we don't believe that it would be very effective to have a large number of small distributors or small channels. Rather, we prefer to prioritize the development of quality channels to improve our overall service and distribution efficiency. Thank you.
那么关于刚刚您问的，抱歉，我还没有说完。那么，关于刚刚您问的3、4线渠道的这样的一个体系，我们会主要通过我们的合作伙伴来进入，同时我们在产品规划上也会考虑更多能够适合于3、4线渠道能够销售更好的车型，包括改款车型在之后推出，这都是我们在规划中的一件事。谢谢。
Regarding the second part of your question, which is the channel network in Tier 3, Tier 4 cities, first of all, we will work with our partners to expand the channel and network. In addition to that, we will also design and curate appropriate products suitable for Tier 3, Tier 4 cities, and we do have some facelift products upcoming to be expected. Thank you.
好的，非常感谢小鹏总的分享。Thank you very much for all the insightful update. 谢谢。
The next question comes from Paul Gong of UBS. Please go ahead.
好，谢谢感谢接受我的那提问我的第一个问题来说的话，就是我们看到这个凤英总到这里来也好几个月的一个时间了，就我其实相对比较好奇，作为他作为就在汽车业里面30年经验的，可能算是小鹏汽车里面在汽车业里面经验最丰富的那样老将吧。他对小鹏汽车的现状的最大的批评是什么？以及就是说他觉得一个改良的方案是什么样子？能不能跟我们分享一下？So my first question is regarding, say, on the arrival of the Ms. Wang Fengying's new role as a president. What has been her biggest criticism on the XPeng motor for the current situation, and what is her plan to change it?
对，凤英总现在来了大概1个半月的时间，我觉得他对公司最大的2个批评，对我个人最大有1个批评这个公司最大的2个批评，他认为我们在规划，其次在营销上面没有做得足够好，看到了很多的问题。我们都知道，最怕的这个最开心的是看到问题可以去解，而最怕的是看不到问题还自己以为自己做得特别好。那么所以在规划和营销方面，他现在是2手同时在抓，而并不是先 A 后 B。那对我个人来说，我最大的压力是他1周工作7天，那么现在卷的我们都开始干7天的活了。谢谢。
Now, this is a very interesting question. Ms. Wang has been with us, has arrived for more than 1.5 months. Her biggest criticism for the company is twofold. The first one is on the planning side, and the other is on sales and marketing. I mean, this is definitely a very positive sign because it is better to see the problems and have solutions rather than being fully complacent without seeing the root cause of the problems. And so right now we are in full force to correct some of the mistakes that we previously had. And personally, I feel a lot of pressure from Ms. Wang because she is working 7 days a week, and right now we are all following this trend of being very, very diligent at work. So that is a lot of pressure on me.
好的。那我第二个问题来说的话，就刚才小鹏总提到了，就是最近这个 GPT 的一个谈论也比较火热，也谈到了就是说它潜在的可能在这个智能汽车上面的一个运用。能否请小鹏总给分享一下，就是说我们能够想象一个远期的一个什么样的场景啊？就这个技术它怎么样一种落地，或者能够创造一种什么样的体验啊？以及在这种过程当中的话，就是我们是否需要为别人的技术付出相应的一种叫潜在的费用，还是应该怎么去思考这个问题？So my second question is regarding your interesting comment on the GPT's application into the smart vehicles. Can you give us some example? How do you imagine such kind of technologies to be used in the long term in the smart vehicles? And if so, shall we pay for certain technology royalty or kind of technology servicing fee on that?
GPT 我相信对于小鹏在短期、中期、长期都会有价值。如果说到对远期的这个价值，我觉得其中之一就是说，当做到高等级自动驾驶或者做到了初阶的无人驾驶的时候，你会发现汽车作为一个交通工具可以了，但是如果想让它更聪明，他会发现它解决不了很多的问题，因为这些问题在过去的时间都是由司机去来解决的。所以 GPT 在本地部署加上云端连接之后，我相信能够让基础的 L4 能够做到真正的全面的 L4， 甚至在更远做到 L5。我觉得这是一个巨大的推动这个速度到来的这样的一个技术力量。关于 GPT 在汽车领域该怎么去实践跟付出费用，我觉得 GPT 目前来说，我认为更多的应该在软件服务，在教育行业或者在类似的文档编辑的行业会产生快速的效果。但是对于硬件，因为硬件和软件的结合的迭代跟纯软件跟互联网迭代是不太一样的，所以从我们角度来看呢，我们更愿意看 GPT 在其他的软件类的科技行业他们的落地的情况。在那个之后，我们会看到在中国可能会有多个 GPT 的变种的体系出现，我们会在这个里面再选择小鹏的道路该怎么走。所以关于费用这样一个事情，现在来说有多家的合作伙伴都在跟我们在谈这些相关的，但实际上对我们来看的话，目前来说对我们的费用的影响还是非常不少的。
Thank you for your question. Now, definitely ChatGPT and related AI technologies will provide a lot of values for our midterm and long-term development. Now, when we look at autonomous driving technology or capabilities, the lower level or medium level kind of autonomous driving technology always face the conundrum of being not smart enough as human drivers, because cars definitely can be very capable as a driving vehicle, but in terms of decision making, a lot of it comes down to the intelligence level. So the fact that ChatGPT AI technology allows on-premise deployment as well as cloud and connection will actually be a catalyst in terms of the development of autonomous driving technology all the way from level 4 to level 5. Now, in terms of the potential fee or cost of adopting the technology, first of all, we will look at the near-term application in the software side, which will be much sooner than its application on the hardware side, because its application in the hardware, we're talking about integrating the software together with the hardware, which is quite a different story from just applying it on the software side. And we mainly will look at some of the key areas in, for example, education and also document processing, language processing, etc. And definitely we expect to see a lot of variations of related ChatGPT GPT technology in China, and we will select the right partners for XPeng in the future according to our developmental pathways. And right now we are in conversation actually with a lot of potential partners, and the in regards to the potential cost, we believe it's quite minimal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next question comes from Ben Wong of Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
各位领导好，我也有2个问题。第一个问题呢，就是关于成本降低的。我们听到公司说那个电动车的成本要降25%，非常兴奋哈。我想问问看，公司有没有什么具体的方式实现25%的下降？因为这是个非常惊人的数字啊。是不是说，比如说一体式冲压，还是有其他方式实现25%的成本下降？能不能稍微讲讲细节？好，这是第一个问题。第二个问题呢，就想问问看这个 G9， 因为 G9 的话呢，最近感觉销量并不高哈。我们公司有什么计划让 G9 再成为一个比较好的一个销量的产品？因为曾经我们预期就是 G9 要跟 P7 一样的销量嘛，那我们还维持这么一个指引吗？那 actually got 2 questions. Number one is about your cost reduction. You mentioned about 25% cut in the vehicle components cost, which is very amazing. Can you give me more detail about how you can achieve that? For example, do you use the integrated die casting to do the cost cutting? This is very important. The second question is about G9. G9 actually has been doing not good recently, but previously you have seen that G9 volume will be even higher than P7. How you can maintain the G9 sales momentum, and what's your maintain the guidance for the G9? Thank you.
是的，说句实话，我觉得成本降低25%，不代表小鹏有多厉害，只代表过去的小鹏的成本控制的没有足够的好。例如刚才您所说的一体化冲压，我们在今年的G6就会上线，包括了我们的整个的边。例如我们在整车的 pack 上面，我们看到了新的方法论，可以去大幅度降大概40%到50%的这个 pack 的成本。另外我们正在做电芯的整个的平台化的设计。我相信在电芯的平台化设计加上我们在整个大续航的这一个综合基础的成长之后，我们可以把电芯跟原来的电芯的成本有相当大幅度的下行的空间。实际上在这个里面是一个在整车、在动力、在配置、在规模中的一个非常大的一个组合啊。我们实际上在今天来说的话，在自动驾驶也好，在整车也好，都看到了比较清晰的这个路线图，怎么能够在今年的下半年、明年的上半年以及到明年的年内去完成几个阶段的巨大的下降。请帮我翻译，谢谢。
Yeah. Specifically speaking, the cost reduction target of 25% is not amazing per se, but it definitely indicates that in the past, we definitely still we're not doing good enough. There's a lot of room improvement in terms of cost reduction, and right now we are seeing multiple ways to actually reduce our cost of manufacturing and overall production. For example, as you mentioned, we have some new technologies in our hardware, the integrated stamping techniques that can help us to reduce the cost of manufacturing the whole car, and also in terms of pack of the whole vehicle as well. We have some viable methodology that can help us to reduce the cost by about 50 to 60%. In addition to that, in terms of the overall chip and battery, we are now employing or adopting the whole vehicle platform engineering technique that can also help us to drive down costs. So as a result, there is a mix of methods and a range of ways for us to reduce costs in terms of our powertrain, overall whole vehicle platform engineering, architecture, scale, and also different configuration as well. So overall, in the coming period, in the second half of the year, first half of next year, and also the second half of next year, we have set up different developmental stages goals in terms of our cost reduction, and the effect can be expected. Thank you.
关于 G9， 我认为在整个大的环境的这种变化下，今天在纯电动汽车的30万以上级别的都面临了很大的挑战。但是我还是非常有信心 G9 在之后会有多个动作，包括了我们有部分的配置正在爬坡所以在后面会开始交付，以及XNGP 在 G9 以及在新的 P7i 上面都会来开始去取得好的效果。因为当 G9 现在已经开始一定的批量进行交付之后，我们看到好的口碑真的越来越多的体现。同时 包括整个小鹏的在 PGI 发布之后，包括我相信在 G6 发布之后门店的这一个路电流量都会有一个相当大程度的提高，这个时候我相信对 G9 都会有一个好的情况。在3月份我们已经欣喜的看到 G9 的销量相比2月份有一定程度的爬坡，特别是在我们几个重要的城市里面，所以我相信 G9 的这个整体的这个今年年内的，我们目前还是保持虽然有挑战，但是我们还是追求我们的目标。谢谢。
Now, in regards to the deliveries of G9, definitely in the price range of 300,000 RMB, among all the BEV rivals, there's been a lot of challenges in pushing its sales. However, in the near future, we do have several moves in place to boost its sales deliveries. The first one is that we're ramping up several configurations, and the second one is by implementing the XNGP function on G9 as well as on P7i, which we believe will greatly enhance the attractiveness of G9 as a product. In addition to that, we are now gathering a lot of positive feedback from our customers who have received their G9 in terms of the product quality and overall performance. In addition to that, we believe that the launches of P7i as well as G6 will boost foot traffic in our stores as well as encourage interest in G9 as well as part of the product line. In addition to that, we are now already seeing reinvigorated sales or deliveries in March compared to the month before, which was February in the market. And so we are still very confident that we are on the right trajectory to meet our delivery target for G9 for the year.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Nick Lai of JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
好，谢谢接受我的提问。我有2个问题。第一个问题想跟进一下有关这个行业竞争跟价格的问题。其实在这个比如东风汽车在湖北这个事情，可以看到说这个在行业没有卖不掉的产品，是有卖不掉的价格。那我想请问一下，我们怎么去看这今年的这个 sales marketing spend， 就是广宣费用？是会维持比较高呢，还是说会有新产品之后，这个 sales marketing spend 会比较往下降？这是第一个问题，谢谢。
谢谢。我觉得在15年以前，可能没有卖不掉的产品，只有卖不掉的价格，这句话是对的。但是我觉得在今天的角度，我觉得这句话的这个准确度会越来越打折扣啊，这是从我的角度来看。同时我想说的是，今年小鹏的营销费用肯定相比以前在同比例有明显的下行啊，这个是我们现在已经非常之明确的事情。但大家会看到，在今年的我们1季度已经开始在重新定策略，那么1季度的下旬，包括2、3、4季度，我们相信相比在过去的时间里面，这是有一个非常大的下行的。我们内部提了一个非常激进的目标，同时能够确保我们的销售的效果啊，这是我们对，这是我们目前的策略。谢谢。
I think what you mentioned in your questions might be viable, 15 years ago, which was that, you can basically sell anything as long as, they are cheap enough. However, it might not work today. We still believe that product quality speaks volume. So for this year, in terms of our overall marketing and pricing strategy, we have set up different aggressive goals for example, the second half of the first quarter, as well as for the upcoming several quarters of the year. So we definitely expect a lot of reinvigorated deliveries or sales outcome for the rest of the year.
好，谢谢小鹏总。我第二个问题就是有关电池的电池的这个合约跟这个上游供应商的谈判，因为市场上也挺多这个新闻说宁德时代等等这些上游供应商跟主机厂有一些中长期的合作的想法。我想知道说小鹏我们在这个电池的这个供应跟合约谈判现在有什么新的 update 可以跟咱们分享？
我相信在去年大概1月份电池的价格有大幅度上涨的时候，对于 混动汽车有非常好的利好，而对纯电汽车都是有很大的挑战。我认为从今年开始，纯电池的价格会加速下行。那么从目前来看，市场在电池方面的领先者所挑起来的这一个包括价格等的战争，我觉得这是一个对于整个的行业是一个更加的利好，更加推动了电动汽车在之后能够相比混动汽车和相比汽油汽车有更强的竞争力。从我们目前来说，跟我们的合作伙伴所沟通的效果来看，我们是非常有信心，我们的价格会相比行业的价格会有更大幅度的下行，这是我们在目前所看到的。但是这仅仅是跟随着行业是一致或者更大量的下行。但是我们在内部最近在调整我们的整个的动力，包括电驱、电池、pack 等一系列体系里面，我们还看到了有非常多的，我们通过电池的统一化，通过3元电池的部分的铁锂化，通过续航性价比，就是说让同样度数电池能够多跑10%到20%的续航，真实续航的能力的提高等一系列的动作，我们认为的这一块我们有非常大的前进的空间，而且它大概在未来的12个月左右就会看到效果。
Now, in regards to battery supply, first of all, in January last year, we saw this pricing inflation happen in the industry, which really encouraged the development of hybrid vehicles in the market, but rather much, hurt a lot of development in BEV sector. However, this year, we are happy to see that the pricing of batteries have come down, and these newly launched price wars in the industry, led by a lot of battery makers, especially the leaders, it's definitely a very good sign or very beneficial for the development of BEV and can help us to improve our pricing competitiveness as well. Now, so far, based on our conversation with our battery suppliers, we are confident that the price reduction, the degree of the price reduction, by XPeng supplied by our supplier partners will be more aggressive than the industry average. And that's just from the outside. Looking internally, we also have discover different ways to optimize our cost structure to reduce our costs in terms of the power chain, batteries, as well as packs by, for example, integration, as well integrating some of the parts, as well as replacing traditional NCM or NCA batteries with LFP batteries. Also by extending the usage or the driving range that it can support per battery by about 10 to 20%. All of these ways can help us to further drive down our battery costs, and you can actually see the effectiveness or outcome in the coming 12 months.
好的，谢谢。
The next question comes from Ming Li of Bank of America. Please go ahead.
谢谢接受我的提问了。那我这边也是2个问题。那第一个问题呢，是关于这个新产品的，因为过去刚才有提到这个我们预期这个 G9 之后的销量可能会是这个P7 的2到3倍。那其实像现在 P7i 上市之后，其实这个订单其实已经恢复的相当好。那想了解一下，就是说因为G6 跟 P7 或 P7i 它应该还是在比较类似的价格带。那除了 G6 它是 SUV 之外，小峰总这边能不能稍微剧透一下，就是G6 这款产品在哪些地方就是会更吸引这个消费者，所以说我们这边的一个预期的销量会比这个 P7 或 P7i 来的更好这么多。那我先翻译我的第一个问题。So my first question is regarding the product competitiveness of G6 because management team just mentioned they expect G6 in the future the stabilized monthly sales could be 2 to 3 times of P7, but because G6 is in a similar price segment of P7, so what is the product competitiveness to give you the confidence? 谢谢，这是我的第一个问题。
抱歉，我在这里不能去仔细的讲我们还没有发布的新产品。我们在4月中下旬的上海车展会第一次将 G6 带的车展。我可以简单讲几个事情。第一个就是说 G6 的续航的能力有了非常大幅度的提高，因为我们将一整体的从此车的重量一体化的冲压，我们一体化的冲压会非常的不一样，然后以及我们的 CIB 的技术，以及我们的热管理的技术，以及我们的风阻的能力，所以这款车的续航会超过我们的想象第二个就是这款车的空间比我们的友商的空间会大非常多所以当你坐在后座的时候，你会发现这个空间感是十足包括了它的内部的造型，实际上在外造型，在智能，我相信大家都会知道会延续小鹏的这一个主打的特色，所以我刚才讲了，在续航、在空间的内造型上，我们都有非常大的这个不同。OK， 谢谢。
Apologies. I really cannot reveal too many details regarding our yet to launch models, but you can expect to learn more about G6 in mid to low April this year in Shanghai Auto Show. But something that I can mention about some highlights of G6 is, first of all, it has a longer driving range supported by our optimized weight of the whole vehicle, driven by our integrated stamping technology, as well as better heat management and wind resistance management technology as well. In addition to that, the interior space of G6 is amazing, especially if you are looking at the second row of the car. The seating area is pretty spacious. And another characteristic to G6 or highlight is its aesthetic. The design language follow the XPeng style, which is going to be very appealing to our customers. Thank you.
谢谢。那我的第二个问题是跟电池相关。那刚才小鹏总也提到说，我们现在公司有新的PEC 的技术，然后也有这个电池新的一个平台化的一个新的技术。那想了解一下，就是说如果以目前这个像是这个 G9 它的这个产品这个 portfolio 里面，其实也有像这个超高快充的这种电池的这个产品。那想了解一下说，目前像这样子的一个就是超高快充的电池大概占我们整个比如说 G9 的订单的百分比大概是怎么样？那如果还比较不是很高的话，主要是这个 charging 这个充电的设施，超高的充电桩的这个密度还不够，还是说其实以目前的这个续航里程，其实这个消费者是觉得是足够的。那另外也想请教说，未来的话，我们这个关于电池的技术，那会不会也开始比如采用更多不一样的，比如说像是这个大圆柱的电池技术等等，这是我的第二个问题。So my second question is related to the battery technology. So in the future, will you consider to use a different type of battery, for example, like a cylindrical type of battery? And besides that, regarding your current orders backlog, G9 you already provide the high voltage fast charging battery. What is the ratio high enough, or if it is not high enough, is this because the charging infrastructure is still not enough, or consumer feel comfortable based on the current the normalized battery pack size? 谢谢。
对，实际上从 G9 开始，后面的所有的全新车跟大的改款车，我们都已经规划在这一大袋里面，全都是800伏的快充以及碳化硅并且我们会坚定的继续将超快充的部署做深。那么800伏的快充不光是在超高速快充上能够充得更快，它在原来的充电桩上，它也可以取得相比其他车要快得多的充电速度，这是我想说的第一个。那么第二个，关于电芯的将来的模块化，这个是我们已经在做相关的这个策划的工作，但是还没有最后对外公布。但是我们还是保留我们将来能够在不同的车型用不同的需求，包括用大圆柱的可行性。对。
Regarding G9 and all of our upcoming new models and facelift versions, all of them will be equipped with the fast charging capabilities suitable for 800 voltage and also silicon carbide fast charging technology. And we will also expand the construction of this fast charging infrastructure as well. Now, what I would like to mention is that this fast charging technology will not only work on the dedicated charging pile, but also in the original charging pile as well. So you can actually speed up the charging by using the technology on both charging piles. In addition to that, we also have put in place our modularized optimization technology to optimize the batteries as well as the chip in the design of those new vehicles. So we are open to the possibility of adopting cylindrical batteries in the future.
谢谢小鹏总。
Due to time constraints for this call, I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for closing remarks.
Thank you once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact XPeng's Investor Relations through the contact information provided on our website or the Pearson Financial Communications.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect your lines.